So I wrote a couple of things down at home, and I forgot it.
Talk louder.
Speak up. So, first of all, thanks for everybody for coming. I really appreciate it. We all really appreciate it. I think this is like the first time in a really long time that we've all gotten together and everybody's been able to do this. I think we're one cousin short. I think if I figured it out. This kind of all started out around Christmas last year. I got a call from Mark, and he just said that, I want to come down for a visit. I want to come and see everybody after his mom's passing. He had told me a story that he said, I made a promise to my mom that I was going to take her down to Canada to visit everybody, and unfortunately, after the fall and losing her, it didn't happen. And he said that he still wanted to fulfill that promise and come down and see everybody and bring her ashes and do something for her. So I don't know if anybody knows. I think Mark is on Facebook and posted some pictures, but he went down to the cemetery earlier in the week with my mom and dad and Judy, and took some of the ashes and put them in Grandma's beside her gravestone. And I think that with him coming here and doing that, I think that's probably just a successful trip right there, and wanting to do that. And I think anything on top of that is a bonus. So having everybody here together is that bonus, I think. And I was thinking there's, when we were talking about things, he talked about having Paul and Susan come as well, and unfortunately they couldn't make it, but that we talked about, when would it be a good time. So it just turned out the dates turned out to be around the same time as my dad's 80th birthday. So we have a good opportunity to kind of do three things. I think that we can. And anybody can come up here. And anybody's more than welcome to come up and talk. And I know that I was able to reach out to a bunch of all of you to talk on the phone and invite and stuff, which was really cool. And I think I mentioned to everybody that there was an opportunity to come up and say anything, and nobody has to, but if you want to, or share your stories. My brother did an amazing job with all these pictures here, and thanks to Susan and Mike and organizing all this stuff as far as decorating and food, and thanks to everybody for bringing all the food as well. We'll get so much food, it's ridiculous. So the things that I think that, I know Terry's going to come over here and speak for a little bit, and we're going to say something as far as a prayer goes for Aunt Anna. And so those three things I think that I was thinking of is that, we have the opportunity to do that, for Mark and Judy and everybody else on behalf of Aunt Anna, celebrate my dad's 80th, and then all of us together for family. So thanks a lot. I appreciate it. And Terry, I think, was going to come up here and talk for a little bit. And also say something, I think, on behalf of Mary, which Mary and Pedrick, by the way, I just found out they got engaged last week, so congratulations to you guys. Terry, I'll let you come up and talk.
Good job, Mike.
A couple of trips that she made to stay with us, and so this is from me. And just if anybody wants to say anything, it doesn't have to be formal or thought out. If you have something you want to share, so this is in place of us having a visitation where you would share stories about a loved one, or just share your memories. So as a little girl, I really didn't know my Aunt Anna, and I knew she lived far away in California where movie stars were from. I saw the letters and pictures she sent Mom, and that confirmed for me that my Aunt Anna was a movie star in California. If you see her pictures, that's what I remember. I remember one childhood visit when she cut my hair in London, and I fell in love with my cousin Paul, and I called him a rat fink, and he never spoke to me again until he added me on Facebook. Fast forward, my mom is living with us, and I thought she could use a visit from her sister. We made Anna a room in our laundry room, and it was the ground floor next to my mom's room and the bathroom. You would have thought we put her up in the Ritz. She was so happy. Had a little sign on it, Anna's room. I learned that Anna and my mom were not always the best of friends. I I'm not sure if you heard the story about the day that Anna borrowed my mom's white wool suit. It was treasured and she'd worked hard to pay for it. Thinking she could get it back in the closet before my mom noticed, Auntie Anne consumed an entire package of black licorice and promptly tossed her cookies on my mother's beautiful fitted white linen suit, white wool suit. They enjoyed each other's company when she came to visit, and they shared memories of their lives together. And I'm thankful that Anna was here when we got the call that my mom was accepted into long-term care. She made a hard time much easier. While she stayed with us, her grandkids would call occasionally to chat for advice or a pep talk, and it meant so much to her. It was nice to know for us that her grandkids still thought that she had wise advice, and she really lit up when they called. She was a blast to have around, and she was loved by our friends, our extended family, the hairdresser, the youth group, our church family, and Mom's visiting home care. She became our confidant, our social convener, the dog whisperer, the cell phone Nazi, and our family cheerleader. She was so easy to please. I treasure our drives out to Wheels Bakery, long trips to the dollar store where she could shop for hours. She helped us pack 300 pounds of dog food with no complaints, and she felt like she had purpose. And she really came alive at the word casino.
Don't we know?
She quickly attached to Dan and Mary, and she could get Dan to do her bidding without leaving her chair. She was our lifelong dealer, supplier of M&Ms when they weren't available in Canada yet. And she bought Marnie her first sewing machine, and I think she taught her how to sew. She detested foul language. She was always dignified and always a lady, even when you were picking her up off the floor when she fell. I remember saying goodbye at the airport with her purple hair. And I made her promise that when she went back home that she would be more active and that she would get involved in a seniors group. But I never felt in my heart that I was saying goodbye forever. And I still don't. Thanks, Mary. Now I have to do yours. So Mary and Anna got really attached, and Mary was taking a trip one Christmas out west with some friends, and Anna was always really generous with Mary. And she wrote this on December the 15th of 2010. To my Miss Mary Sunshine with love, to record your incredulous journey. May you have many memorable moments to write about. Much love always, Aunt Anna. Mary texted me what she wanted to say. It's a high-tech world. She was one of those one-of-a-kind people. She was everything a lady should be and everything she shouldn't. She's the only woman I know who could kiss your cheek and then turn around and smack you or tell you off in the same 5 seconds while making you still feel loved. She made life seem so romantic, and to me she modeled all the classic glam of Marilyn Monroe and Audrey Hepburn. She lived how she lived, and she didn't apologize, yet she always thought of others above herself. She was an encouragement to everyone she knew. She encouraged me to live life and was never-endingly faithful to her family and her God. It was a blessing to have known you, Aunt Anna. I'm a better person for knowing you. I love you and I miss you. And then I'm supposed to say something about her pretending to fall to get the cute firefighters to pick her up. She was always hoping that that's who would show up. And I just want to end with this. May the road rise up to meet you. May the wind be always at your back. May the sun shine warm upon your face. And the rains fall soft upon your fields until we meet again. May God hold you in the palm of his hand. Thank you.
Sister and I, but we used to converse quite often on the phone. she had a phone that could call us, and it didn't cost me any money. So I would call her and let the phone ring 3 times, and then she would call me back just to save some money. But anyway, we talked quite a bit, but it was always so nice to have her come up. Every couple of years I was saying to Mark and Judy that years ago when she come up, and God bless her soul, with 3 little guys on a train, and the train used to go to Dundas at the time. So we drove her to the train station, and we got her on the train with the 3 kids. Come on, kids, come on. And we must have walked down about 4 cars. And then all of a sudden, I'm talking to her, and the conductor says, "All aboard!" So everything started, the engine started up and whatnot, and I'm about 4 lengths back, give the kids a hug, give Anna a hug, and got off the train. But that was sort of scary. But we've always had good times. If you look at her picture up here, she's always smiling. But we had such good times that we'd take her. She liked ice cream, and we always take her for ice cream. And every time she came, we'd take her around to show her many of the houses she lived in, and which 5 or 6, I guess. But she always enjoyed looking at the different houses and see what they're like, and she was very easy to please. She didn't have to fuss over for meals or nothing like that, and just a great time we had with each other and whatnot. But
Her idea of going out to dinner was the 12-inch hot dog stand. Anybody who's been there knows what it's like. And second was Hutch's.
Hutch's, yeah.
Yeah, gained very high end.
Yeah, very much so. But every 2 years, like saying thank God to Terry, bless you. And Mark and Judy, thanks for coming up. It's part of you, my sister with you, and love you for it. I just wanted to say how much she loved you all. She's thrilled to see you all here. We were selfish. We kept some of her at home. Some of her was over there in the corner. And the rest is going home to Terry, the place she loves so much. And I love you for taking such good care of her. Love all of you, much as she did. I knew you'd say that, Bert. Thank you very much.
Happy birthday.
Thanks everybody for coming. I really appreciate it. Thanks again, Mike, Susan, and Paul, for all you've done.
Before everybody goes, can I just want to say a couple of things. First of all, despite what Paul says, Paul planned everything today. So I think that you all got emails and probably phone calls, and Paul likes to phone everybody a couple of times and send a bunch of emails. So I'm sure that he did that a lot. But it was because of all that we were able to get together today. And like he said to everybody, that was the second reason to get together was for my dad's birthday. And the fact is we're running out of chances to get together, and so it's extra special to be able to do this today. And I wanted to just take a couple minutes to just talk about my dad. And it occurred to me that with all of you here today and representation from everybody's family, and Uncle Johnny and Aunt Joan and Aunt Toots and Uncle Tommy and Aunt Anna and Uncle Jim and Aunt Shirley and my mom and dad. And as I was sitting here last night, we were sitting in the tent. There was me, my mom and dad, and Mark and Judy, and I was thinking, how cool is this? I'm sitting here with my 80-year-old dad and my and my 55-year-old mother. So you can see how special that was. But I was thinking that it's interesting that Julia, my girlfriend's daughter, was trying to think of something to get my dad, and she came up with the idea of that little glass and getting everybody to write something, one word that that described my dad. And I was looking at it, and I'll bring it out, and to read the words and thoughtful and caring. And
all right, they're all good.
But I think I'm speaking on behalf of all of you. I think he's affected you too. He's touched on everybody's lives in some way. He was there for Uncle Johnny and Aunt Joan and Uncle Eddie, and he goes to see Aunt Toots 3 times a week, and it's like clockwork, and it didn't just start recently. It's been ongoing, and he like he said, he looked forward to Aunt Shirley being here, and it's kind of interesting because he was the youngest in the family, and it's usually the oldest that takes care of everybody, and his family, it's my dad, and it's remarkable. So anyways, I was thinking about 20 years ago when I moved out, and I stayed around for a long time. But I realized that then that I was leaving my dad, but and my mom, and you go through that period where you're thinking about, oh, this is going to be hard, or maybe it's going to be good, and you're confused. But it wasn't that long after I realized that he wasn't my dad anymore. He was my friend, and that's the coolest thing to be able to experience. So anyways, on behalf of my sister and my brother and my mom, happy birthday, Dad.
Thanks. Feed my year and onto another level of my life, and hopefully it's as good as the last 79.